Theater in Indianapolis for Mad Hatter shows. It was a great show. Everyone had a good time. Everyone walked away with a smile on their face. This is one of, I think, 5 or 6 shows I did for Mad Hatter, and I really enjoyed it. So if you can come out and be part of one of their shows, I highly recommend it. You will have a nice day.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Second Chance, Undeniable Music. Shout out to Mad Hatter Shows. It's going down, man. Second Chance.
Bada boom, realest one in the room. How you doing? It's your boy Enzo. I'm a certified G and a bona fide stud. You already know you can't teach that. But another thing you can't teach, good podcasting. And if you want to listen to a good podcast, Mad Hatter Shows. And go to nationally-syndicated.com. It's the bomb. How you doing?
Well, howdy world, how the hell are y'all doing? Catfish Cooley coming to you live, baby. Look here, I'm about to do a lot of work with Mad Hatter Shows. They're the best in the business. Y'all jump on board, come on, baby. We got a lot of laughs to do.
Yo, what's up? This is Pauly Shore, and I'm hanging out with my friends that do the Mad Hatters. I just did my show, so I'm a little crusty, bro. But I'm just chilling, and we're here, so check them out. Later.
Yeah, coming to a city near you. Yeah, just check out MadHatterShows.com. Horse Twins gonna be there. Yeah.
What's up? This is Big Smo, and this whole night was crazy. If you want to get with it like I get with it, MadHatterShows.com, baby. You got to come get with them.
Come get with us. It's the Mad Hatter Shows podcast. Another one at a haphazard, unannounced time. Here we are, out of the blue. We're like, we just pop. You never know when we're going to pop up.
Not even scheduled tonight, right?
Not even scheduled. You weren't even scheduled either. This is a late replacement. Jeffrey Lewis in the bench here.
I was walking down the street. You said, hey, come in here.
Yeah. That's all. That's what we got to do. Sometimes there's been some weird stuff. We've been trying to schedule it the last couple weeks, and things happen. January has been wild. For anybody that's watching this doesn't know what Mad Hatter Shows is, or why this podcast is on, or why they're sitting there looking at this, this is basically a super sexy infomercial for our brand. We put on live events all over the country, and if you're tuning in here, you're following one of our pages or one of our artists or one of our venues. It's been a wild January so far. We started out the year with Haywood Banks.
Right.
We've had shows with Andrew Kahn and Catfish Cooley. Just a lot of followers, a lot of big names popping in and joining our brand here.
And tomorrow's February.
Yeah.
And you got February, March, April. You got some great shows coming up.
The website is loaded. It's madhattershows.com. We're probably going to have that up on your screen, and we're probably going to say it about 100 times during the next hour or so. Jesse Peyton's calling in at 9:35. We got Josh Arnold calling in here just a couple minutes. Very, very cool stuff going on. Just a quick rehab, too. A couple other people we've worked with in the last couple weeks. One of them was Donnie Baker. We had our first show at the Big Easy of Danville, Illinois. One of my new favorite venues. Some really nice people there. We've got 2 other shows coming there soon. I think we've got a video here to show how the reaction was to our first show there. Look at that.
Whoa, look at that crowd.
Came out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Danville was waiting for us, and here we are, February 18th. We're going to be back with Haywood Banks. And it's not even on the website yet, but I can say tonight, March 25th, we're coming back with Andrew Kahn and Catfish Cooley. So the White Trash Tour will be there. And,
in Danville?
In Danville.
Excellent. We're in Danville. Where is that?
It's called the Big Easy. It's over by like
Easy.
the city building or something. But big parking lot. Used to be a Knights of Columbus, and now it's an event space, and in the front a bar where they serve lots of amazing food. You want to get the red beans and rice and the blackened chicken, I can attest. They got gumbo, all that kind of stuff.
Now, isn't that where Dick Van Dyke, isn't he from there, Dick Van Dyke, from Danville, Illinois?
Danville wants to claim him. My hometown of Crawfordsville wants to claim him for a little bit, but yeah, he spent time in both. So yeah, you doing some research, or is that just trivia, you know?
I do research, yeah. No, I'm a trivia person. I know all kind of stuff.
You didn't have time to prep for
I
this
didn't
tonight.
know that he had some relationships in Crawfordsville, though.
Yeah, he went to Crawfordsville, or Tuttle Junior High, it was called at the time, and actually, back in the day, the rules were different. He was allowed to run with Wabash College in cross country. So
didn't know that. See, you know more about him than I do.
Fantastic. Another guy that we've had some shows with earlier this year, Mick Foley. I want to bring him up for a couple reasons. One, we just like showing off that Mick Foley works with us, but also he gave away his entire earnings of the Bowling Green show to relief for the tornadoes that happened down there.
Wow, so awesome.
He's always giving away some of the money on the show. He usually the shirt that he's wearing, he'll auction it off, and that money will go to an anti-suicide campaign. But he doesn't brag a lot about it, but he made it known the way he was doing in Bowling Green. So I think we can share it. Gave away a lot of money to some people. So we work with some pretty cool folks. We've got our first guest is here. Let's get him on the screen here.
There he is.
How you doing? Can you hear us, Josh?
I sure can. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're a pro at this, so you've already. Sometimes people have to fumble with the sound or whatever to get going, but this is small time for you. You're a big,
not at all.
You're a big
Not
radio guy. That's
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't remind everybody that I am a big radio star, and
absolutely, you take it.
I'm
That's
thrilled
fun.
to be with you guys.
Awesome. Well, I'm Neil. This is Jeffrey. I don't think we have met, so this is the meeting.
Yes, yeah. Good to meet you, gentlemen. This is normally when I'd be asleep typically right now.
I was going to say, you need to get up in about 5 minutes, don't you? Or
Not too long from now, but that's okay.
What time do you get up? What time do you get up for the show in the morning, Bob and Tom show?
I get up around 4. Around 4, yeah. And I actually don't roll into the studio until just a few minutes before we go on the air. I have no show prep. In fact, I don't want any. I want to be able to walk in and be surprised by whatever it is we're talking about. So it fits with my laziness as well.
There you go.
Right. MadHatterShows.com. You can find 4 shows with Josh Arnold. We're taking you to some small towns in Indiana: Kokomo, Plainfield, Red Key, and Lebanon, Indiana. That's kind of a Bob and Tom, the heart of who listens to that and wakes up every morning listening to that show. How much stand-up do you do? What's the balance, I guess, with you doing radio stuff and getting on stage?
When I first started doing the radio show, it was about once or twice a month. Now I've increased my shows because I want to record an hour. So it's about 3 times a month now.
Okay. So it's funny, small town Indiana. Sometimes I bring up that I'm a wrestling fan, and people say, "Oh, Dick the Bruiser," like that's current events, right? Or we book Haywood Banks, who's come up on the Bob and Tom show, and someone will say, "Oh, he's a great show. We went and saw him in 1997." Like not everyone is always up to date. So there may be some folks here that are watching, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're big fans. We know who Josh is." There's some other folks that are going, "Wait a minute, how did Josh end up as a major player on Bob and Tom?" So do you have like the Cliff Notes version on how you became a prominent fixture on that show?
Sure. It's 6+ years ago, Bob retired. And for about a year, well, maybe half a year, they were having some comedians in that had guested before sit in as guest hosts. So maybe for 3 days, maybe for a full week. And I was one of those people. And then that became more and more frequent until finally that August, Tom called and said, "Hey, we'd like you to sit in on a permanent basis."
So that pretty much means you're the best, right? Like you were that was considered an audition. You killed it.
I didn't know that it was an audition until I kind of got the idea maybe a month or so before I was actually hired, and I let it be known, hey, this is something I would be interested in if you guys are looking for a permanent replacement. And people said, "Oh, okay." And then, and so then it happened. And I think one of the things I had going for me was that I'd been a fan essentially my whole life. I would listen in St. Louis where I was growing up, and I would buy the CDs and play them over and over. And when I first started stand-up, being a guest on the Bob and Tom Show was my number one comedy goal, more so than late night TV and things like that. So, I mean, quite honestly, it's pretty much a dream come true.
Awesome. So you grew up, I'd say I might be a little bit older than you then, because I remember the audio tapes coming out every Christmas for Bob and Tom, like before they switched to CDs. But yeah, who were some of your favorites growing up that kind of influenced you?
From the Bob and Tom Show, or just in general?
Both. Go ahead and give both, but yeah, definitely Bob and Tom.
Yeah, certainly the stand-ups, Drew Hastings, Dan Grieder, and boy, Henry Phillips, Rob Haney, a lot of, and what I really appreciated a lot of the musical. I'm huge fans of a huge fan of the musical guests, but that wasn't what I wanted to do, and so yeah, more of the spoken word guys like Greg Warren. I really looked up to until I met him and realized what a jerk he is, and no, he's one of my best friends, and your Augie Smiths, Mike McRae's, that kind of stuff.
Awesome. And then other stand-ups, and I guess that have influenced you. Who else has kind of shaped the performer you are?
The special that I watched where I went, okay, stand-up is absolutely something I want to try, was Robert Schimmel's Unprotected.
Oh yeah, very good.
He's my all-time favorite comedian, and I certainly emulated him, and probably still do to a certain degree on stage. Steve Martin, I would listen to his CDs all the time. Dennis Miller is a guy that I really, really respect, and politics aside, I just love his, whether you agree with his politics or not, I think there's always something funny to be found. And what I learned watching him was, I like the idea of having the audience come up to your level as opposed to talking down to them. So yes, you're going to risk saying something crazy and obscure that only 10% of the audience is going to get.
Oh, that's what makes it fun.
People walking out of a Dennis Miller show.
I love it when I catch a Dennis Miller reference. You know what I mean? Like I was a teenager when his HBO show was on there. That would be like I'd be looking stuff up later. You know, it was kind of a badge of honor when you understood a joke that the guy
people
watching
walking out
know.
People walking out of Dennis Miller show. You know, what did that mean? I didn't get that. What did he say? Well, I don't know.
I loved it, but he treated everyone like, hey, you would know this, or you should, or whatever. And it's hard. He's one of those guys where I come up and people go, really, just because their politics may differ with his, and I think you can enjoy different people for different reasons.
Do you do any political stuff in your routine now?
No, every now and again I'll, if I'm feeling sort of, froggy, I might throw something out that I know is the opposite of the common held beliefs in the area that I'm in. One of my favorite places to perform in the world is Bloomington, Indiana. They have a wonderful club there called the Comedy Attic, and it's a super progressive town. It's very, very liberal. And so when I'm there, I like to poke the bear and just make jokes about, and thankfully the audience knows that I'm being an idiot, that I'm just messing with them. And the same goes with if I'm in a particularly red area, I'll often make jokes about something that I know they won't agree with. But the audience does know, hey, this guy's just being incendiary. Which, if they're coming to see me and not just a comedian because they've heard me on the morning show, they know that's what I do.
So four towns we're bringing you to. You've been warned, but that's I think these are all pretty red that are on the four that we've set up so far. But you never know who's in the crowd. That's part of it. You never know who's there, and you got to be funny for everyone that's there. Politics
isn't that fun to joke about anymore. It used to be. It used to be really fun. You could take pot shots at both sides. The last time I did it was around the Trump-Clinton election, and I had jokes about both. Mm-hmm. And all I ended up doing, I thought that I might win over everybody. All I ended up doing was pissing off everybody.
Yeah, and it's like, I think people go now to shows to kind of get away from that, because that's everywhere now. It's on social media and it's on the TV, and it's in TV shows where we don't want it to be, and it's,
dude, that's the worst.
They reboot something and you start watching it and you're like, yeah, absolutely.
So I went, okay, well, this isn't that fun. I don't really care too much about it, so it wasn't worth me having anything in. I would rather be somebody that folks can come see and not hear about the stuff. They can get it everywhere else, like you said.
So if nobody's heard of you, they don't know the Bob and Tom persona, they don't know you from the show, they still come to the stand-up show? Are they going to enjoy you, or is there some research that's going to be needed to get some of your humor?
No research necessary. I'm very. The first 20 minutes of my set or so is just a lot about me. It's a lot of self-deprecating humor, so that I can get away with some of the other stuff later on.
You can't lead with the stuff that's gonna potentially upset people. You got to make them like you first, right?
Right. Now there will be lately. What's been happening is people will yell out things that I do on the show that if you don't listen, you'll have no idea what it is. But I'll do them, and then I'll just kind of explain, hey, if you don't listen to the show, this is going to seem like utter nonsense to you. It's not going to make any. And then usually what happens is whatever it is I'm doing stops the show dead. But I just have to get them back. So it's okay. It's fun to do.
We should bring up, this is a double headliner show. Actually, it's a special treat because the prices aren't jacked up for this, but we got Reno Collier doing a headline length set right before you too.
Wow.
So it's basically 2 Bob and Tom fixtures for the price of one, coming to, I think the first ones are Lebanon and Kokomo, I think, are the first 2. It's on the website though, and then it's the end of February that's coming up. So how'd you get paired with Reno? Is it just happened, or did you seek him out?
We met through the show. He was a guest, and then he became a weekly correspondent. Every Mondays he's on, and we just hit it off. And so we were talking one day on the phone about something else, and then I forget which one of us said it, but we went, hey, why don't we go out together and do some shows? And both loved the idea, and he mentioned knowing you and wanting to work either more with you, or had he worked with you before?
Yeah, we've had him on some shows with Pat Godwin, and we've had him some shows with Cletus T. Judd coming up. So he seems like he likes to hop on shows and make them stronger. So that's a very cool thing that he's willing to do that and not have to hog the spotlight on himself. So.
Well, he and I are going to have to argue over who goes first, because I don't know that I want to follow him. So,
very funny guy. We've had him on here before, and definitely we're a fan of him too. So, MadHatterShows.com has all of the dates that you guys are going to be on. And if someone's looking to find the Bob and Tom Show or find your other works, where's the best places online to find the best of Josh Arnold?
BobandTom.com. There are all kinds of clips and a lot of fun stuff on there. I have a website, thatjosharnold.com, where you can find my schedule. Not much else. I don't have any. You look at that.
There he is.
Aren't I a handsome fella? The wonders of Photoshop. You might wonder what they photoshopped, but if you had seen that photo before, and then my Instagram. I have fun on that. I'm not on social media a ton. I have a like-hate relationship with it. And
now,
Instagram
why is that? Why do you have a love-hate relationship with it?
I'm old school when it comes to keeping entertainers a little bit more separate from their audience. I have always liked the idea of when you go see somebody at a show, you're going, when they first come out, you're like, oh my gosh, there they are. I like that. I like a little bit of a separate, but at the same time, interacting with fans can be so fun and really, man, there are a ton of funny people out there and good people. And so what I just decided was, okay, if I'm not feeling it, I won't go on. And I will, when I do go on, I will only interact with people I think are doing positive things. So you can kind of make it what you want it to be, and so that's what I try to do now.
That's 30,000 people, though. You could be showing what you had for lunch. So, I mean, you're not taking total advantage of the social media experience like some of these folks out there.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, it might actually. I don't know if it helps or hurts me. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, when I'm in the mood to go on, I go on, and when I'm not in the mood, I don't. So.
Awesome. Well, we are booking so many shows with Mad Hatter. I think that the 4 dates you have with us, I'm running other shows. So I've got to hope that we have to cross paths down the road after that. So hopefully that happens soon. But it was nice to meet you tonight, Josh. We'll let you get some sleep and wake up tomorrow at 4 a.m. So you're down to 7 hours or so already.
Yeah, no episode of Blue Bloods for me tonight. I'll just go right there. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on. And I'm hoping that these 4 shows are the first of many.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping too, and we'll cross paths soon. Thanks for being on the show.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Get some sleep.
Will do.
All right. Josh Arnold, super nice guy.
4 a.m.
Woo. He's got the radio voice, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm envious of that. So, yeah, check out madhattershows.com to see, I think it's the last weekend in February and the first weekend in March that we've got the shows. Look, I've written it down even. So, you get it pulled up here. Lebanon on February 25th at the American Legion Kokomo Shrine on February 26th. March 4th at the Red Key Palace Theater. And then on the March 5th, the Plainfield Eagles. So,
have you been to the Red Key? Have you been?
I have. I've done a couple shows there.
Yeah, that's a great place.
It's a really neat old theater. That's
middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and the food is fantastic there too. So double check before you get there and say that I told them you could eat. But assuming they're serving food that night, it's definitely worth showing up early and eating there. So. Fantastic. We're going to do something a little bit different this show. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll have 2 guests call in, and then the end of the show we're like, hey, here's all the stuff we've got coming up. We've got time right now before Jesse calls in to run down some of our upcoming events with Mad Hatter shows. So we're going to pull these up, and you give us your impressions of this ridiculously large schedule. We keep getting busier and busier. This weekend, Jimmy Walker will be back with us. We've done, I don't know, a dozen shows with this guy probably over the years. I've had a lot of fun. He's like my grandpa. I think you can see the resemblance here. Jimmy comes to town. I love picking this guy's brain. Comedy legend, 50-plus years of stand-up and movie and TV experience. We're going to have him in Franklin, Indiana on Thursday night at Beeson Hall. On Friday night, he's going to be at the Irving Theater in Indianapolis. So definitely check him out. You can get on madhattershows.com and check out a dynamite performance.
Does he do the dynamite? I haven't seen him.
He has a strategic dynamite, so you'll hear it, but you won't hear it all the way through. It's kind of, like Larry the Cable Guy didn't want people shouting "get her done" all the time.
Right.
It's the same thing. Is you get one dynamite. Then maybe he's being more liberal with them now, but you don't always get a lot of those. So Dustin Sims coming up this weekend as well on the 4th through the 6th. And when we talk to Jesse, he's on that show too. So we'll definitely be coming back to talking about Dustin, but we've had a lot of fun with him previously. He's going to be in Hobart. Hobart? How do we pronounce it?
Hobart.
Not Hobart. They'll get on you for that.
Hobart.
The art theater there. On the 5th, we'll be at the Zora Shrine in Terre Haute. And then on the 6th at the 4th Floor Blues Club on Sunday night. And I believe I'm going to go just check out that show on Sunday also. So he's always fun to go watch. Bro humor. He seems like he might be a little bit kind of wound up. He gets fast paced and stuff on his videos. He is nothing compared to the guy that's calling in here. So you're gonna get it's actually the show slows down a little bit if you can believe it.
Tonight he'll be slowed down versus his videos. His videos are like woo woo woo.
We'll just see when Jesse comes on. You'll see what I'm talking about. He's a bundle of energy. But a lot of fun. Both those guys. MadHatterShows.com and you can see. So we've got 5 shows this weekend to choose from. Choose Jimmy Walker or Dustin Sims if you're in Indiana, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So then I guess we take a week off from Mad Hatter events. You can go spend that time with your Valentine. And February 18th and 19th, we're back with Haywood Banks. So we're talking about people came up on Bob and Tom and folks that are legends being played in the 80s and 90s on those tapes and CDs that we would buy. Haywood Banks definitely... we're happy he's still around and he's still recording music and performing music. You're going to get some of his greatest hits and also some of his new stuff. February 18th, we're going to be in Danville at the Big Easy. On the 19th, the Vincennes Eagles. And then the next week, we'll be in Greensburg, Indiana, making our debut. I think it's an Eagles also. And then on the 26th, back at the Irving Theater, which is kind of our home base right now, where we do most of our shows these days. So I guess the most frequent attended place that we're at. So. And then March 11th, we're in Richmond. So 5 shows on the schedule right now with Haywood Banks. And those tickets are at madhattershows.com. You're a Haywood Banks guy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go see JJ at Irving this weekend.
Absolutely, you should do that. All right, so Reno Collier coming up too. I know this is kind of overkill, but we're I guess we'll just keep this up right now because we're going to talk about Reno is going to be on a couple March shows with us as well. With Cleveland, I invited more than 200 for one of my friends the other day. But tell everybody what's going on here. You never know when one of our shows could brighten somebody's day, and people are surprised sometimes that these folks are coming around. So we're doing our best to get the word out, but we could definitely use some help.
Yeah, they're great because everybody they hang out after the show, they meet and greet, have fun, pictures, all kind of stuff with them.
We only book great people. You know that. You've been on some shows.
Yeah,
You've opened for the next guy we're going to talk about, Donnie Baker.
I have, yes. Always a treat because his audiences are so great.
A lot of fun. Donnie Baker's got 4 shows currently, 5 shows actually, 4 solo and 1 with Catfish Cooley that you can buy tickets for on madhattershows.com. So the next one with him coming up is March 4th in Bartonville, Illinois, right outside of Peoria. And that'll be at their Legion. That'll be our first show there, so that should be a lot of fun. On the 25th of March, we're going to have him in Martinsville at that American Legion. They had a lot of fun with Haywood Banks earlier this month, so definitely planning on that. And then April, we're going to be at the Time Community Theater in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And one of the breweries in Wausau, I think it's Great Dane Brewery, is that right? So we've done a Great Dane in another city, I believe, as well. So we're taking Donnie to Wisconsin. I actually did some Wisconsin dates with him 2 years ago. Not 2 whole years ago, 2 calendar years ago. And those were definitely fun. So trying to match that experience as well. So good times. April 15th, he'll be with Catfish Cooley at Pierre's Entertainment Complex and his band, the Pork Pistols. So if you've seen him perform stand-up, but you've never seen his band, that's worth it checking out as well. Seeing that whole setup. So a lot of fun there. Man, if we do too many more shows, we're going to have the second guest call in at like a quarter till because like we're right now, I'm like, are we going to have enough time?
Yeah.
I think we're going to make it. But yeah, so many shows right now on our 2022 schedule. Ginger Billy is another one who was starting last year. We added him to our roster. He's one of our favorite folks to work with. I mean, it's pretty much a big tie for one because we work with all kinds of great people. But Ginger Billy definitely is a fan favorite. He's a great guy to work with, and we're going to have him at the Burlington, Iowa Capitol Theater on March the 12th. So Brandon Rainwater joins him there, and we're always having good times with him. So
busy times.
Didn't get the Ginger video up there, but you can't miss him. He shows up on stage wearing nothing but a pair of Daisy Duke jean shorts, no shoes, no shirt. You may get a ball cap backwards, but he's not pretentious at all. He is absolutely common man up on stage. And the thing is, a lot of his videos are kind of bizarre things like this. You can see here's the video. People know the Ron Deere stuff, that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He's not a prop artist on stage though. This guy's a good writer, and it's a whole show of storytelling and fantastic. Identifying with the crowd immediately. I don't want to ruin any jokes, but you will feel at home with Ginger Billy immediately when you watch the show. So he and Brandon Rainwater are a great duo, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So
he's on stage. Well, no, he doesn't have shoes on, right? When he's on stage,
he does not. I hope he's got his tetanus shot because we got to make sure it's a clean path to the stage. But yeah, he's just there like that. Which, if I was built like Ginger Billy, I might go on stage without my shirt on. Nobody wants to see that now.
Yeah, you'd need to be built like him to do that.
Yeah, I wasn't considering it. You don't have to talk me out of it or anything. I'm well aware of my limitations on the stage. But,
does he have hair? Is he what's under the cap
yeah,
there?
He's got some hair. But sometimes he shaves it closer. But you can check him. He's got the new video making fun of the parody video for Broadway Girls is out right now. It's called Redneck Girls. You can find that on YouTube too. So I think he may have his hat off for part of that one. All right, April 1st. April Fool's Day, we have 2 huge shows in separate parts of the country. One of them is in Lebanon, Tennessee. We're going to have Zach Rushing doing his first show ever with us. And Zach Rushing, you can see him right there. He's going to be featuring Jesse Peyton, who I was supposed to give a heads up that we're still have everything going on, and I just went to send that, and it looks like he's going to be calling in here soon. So we got to get through these other folks here. But Zach Rushing, MadHatterShows.com. He's another one of those guys that's kind of gotten famous by going viral in his car. That's another thing. I need to start making videos in my car. Right? It's the Dustin Sims, the Chad Prather method. The folks that are getting famous that way. So also April 1st up in Milwaukee, we're going to have the return of the Hodge Twins, who are our largest comedy crowd so far have been Hodge Twins shows. So
where was that show? Where was that? Fort Wayne, the largest one, or was it Evansville?
Evansville's been the largest so far, with Terre Haute right behind, and then now Fort Wayne, to be fair, sold out. So I mean, we capped what we could do, but yeah, we're these guys are going to dominate our top 10 when we start doing the list again. It's a great show. It's a little dirtier than you're going to see online with these kind of videos like this. It's definitely an experience. Don't think you can just turn on their videos and you've seen everything. You have not.
Nope.
They got a Q&A section as well where they address the fans with real talk as well. So it's a really good experience. So April 1st, Zach Rushing and the Hodge Twins. That's going to be a great weekend. So and then we got a comedy legend that's going to be here the weekend after that. This is kind of our Moby Dick. We've been starting in 2016-17. We were like, we need to get this guy Gilbert Gottfried on our lineup, and we finally got him secured. And we just had 2 weekends or 2 shows with him in Oklahoma, and we've got more on the schedule. Some April dates, London and Richmond, and then a show where he's with Donnie Baker on the April 15th at Pierre's, and then also 2 shows that are not on the website yet, but they will be very soon. We can announce March 25th. We're going to have Catfish Cooley in Danville, Illinois, and then on March 26th, we're going to have him on the rescheduled show in Plainfield. So
fantastic.
If you've got tickets to the Plainfield show that was going to happen on Saturday and was delayed for sickness, you don't have to do anything special. Just your name's still on the will call list, or bring those tickets to March 26th in Plainfield, Indiana. All right. So I heard the doorbell, and there he is now.
Yeah, he's in holding.
He's emerged. Let's bring him on stage here on the big screen. Jesse, how you doing?
What is up, guys?
Hey, and how'd you like the 2-minute warning I gave you when I said I would warn you later in the day? I apologize for that. I'm glad you remembered.
Yeah, batter up. Here I am, baby. We made it, though. I had a long day of travel. We came back from Tallahassee, Orlando, and Savannah, Georgia. Flew in today. And, just been recouping. That's what Mondays are for.
Well, we set up the show a little bit differently. Usually at the end of the show, we do this big rundown of all of our shows that are coming up, and we decided to do that between the 2 callers here. And I'm looking at we got so many shows. I'm looking there. I'm like, Jesse's going to call in soon, so we had to kind of speed everything out. 4 of them have you. April 1st with Zach Rushing in Lebanon, Tennessee, and then this weekend with Dustin Sims. So you're coming up here. We've done 3 so far, or 5 so far with you and Dustin?
Yeah, I think I've been on the last 30 cities with Dustin, so it's been really good, man. So and now Zach and I partnered up in Baton Rouge, and now he's got me batting leadoff, and it's been good, man. It's been a good run, man. Hell yeah.
Well, we're talking to Josh Arnold and how Reno Collier's hopping on a lot of shows, kind of doubling up. You're in that spot right now where you're the opener on some stuff. You're getting some headline stuff. People are starting to know your name. How's this ride gotten here? You haven't been in this for tons of years. You're what, 8 years in?
Yeah, I got 8 years. The first 5.5 were part-time. I ran a private poker game in Houston. Did that for a long time. Was doing comedy on the side. I did about 3 shows a year for 4 or 5 years. And then Texas legalized poker membership rooms, put me out of business. So we went from making $30K a month to making $200 a week doing comedy. So it was time to shift gears and get serious.
Absolutely. So what's it like on the road, not being the main guy? I mean, I know this. Jeff knows this. We're often the openers, but for folks at home that don't know, how do you get up for a show where you're going to be doing significant minutes, but they don't necessarily know you're on the show?
Yeah, it's been it was interesting, an interesting dynamic at first. I started touring with Chad Prather. I've worked with some big guys, but Chad was giving me 45 minutes to start, so I hit the road with him first. Now with Dustin, it's more of a demographic that fits my style. Chad had an older group of people, and I was a little more raunchy than that. I'm a club comic. I'm vulgar, dirty. We don't hold back. So, but it's been overwhelmingly good, man. I'm doing 45 minutes a show with Dustin. With Zach, I'm doing 45 minutes a show. And when you come out swinging and they don't know who you are, I think they open up a little slower, but I think they're more gracious once you win them over, if that makes sense, because they expect less from you.
Yeah. I have a kind of a gimmick that started out. I would be in front of people that wouldn't necessarily have comedy fans that would be there. They would be fans of that person that's there, kind of a novelty act. And you kind of had to prep them for the fact that, hey, they're not coming out for a little bit, and it became a larger thing where I became the fluffer, kind of a character on stage here. So there's a lot of adapting that has to take place a lot of times. And just to stress to people at home, this high energy guy on the screen here, that's how you are for the entire 45 minutes on stage, right? You're even a little bit subdued right now.
It is. I feel handcuffed, man. When I get a camera in front of me or a crowd, it's crazy. And I'm like that naturally too. It's a weird thing that doing 45 minutes. I had a local comic here, phenomenal guy named Trey Tutson, who was like, man, you need to pump the brakes in the middle. Come out swinging. Take a breath. And I actually started, I have a bit now where I do like a Jim Jeffrey style storytelling, and I pull the stool up and I sit down on the stool for about 12 minutes right in the middle now, just to kind of decompress. And it gives the audience members a chance to sit back, and kind of exhale a little bit, because it is a bumpy ride with me sometimes.
Well, how did you start trying that out, doing that?
Like I said, I have a bit about coming from an alcoholic father and a white trash family, and my style is a lot of punching, a lot of swinging early, a lot of high energy. I run around, I engage the crowd. I have jokes that I use in the crowd, and then I wrote some bits that have. You're a comic, you understand. So I deviate from the laughs per minute, which they say you're supposed to do 4 or 5 laughs per minute with tags and punchlines. And I had these like 45-second setups that get real somber, real sad. I speak more softly. I get them leaning forward a little bit more. And then I hit them with a big punchline, and it kind of, it shreds the room a lot of times. But I have like 4 of those in about a 6-minute bit, as opposed to a laugh every 15 seconds. But it's worked extremely well. It's gone extremely well.
You got to give people a chance to catch their breath sometimes, but it's nice to be able to switch up your style, almost like a rapper. That's they've got different flows that they can throw out depending if the beat changes.
It's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Awesome. So Hobart, Indiana on the 4th, and Terre Haute on the 5th, and Richmond on the 6th. Yeah, I've been doing this different city, different night. I got a day job too, Monday through Wednesday, and then you hop on the road and you're doing all this kind of stuff. For folks that maybe can't wrap their head around it, what's day 3 or 4 of a week where you got a show every night? What's that like on your body and your mind?
I mean, to be honest, the mind and body, it's usually fine. I mean, I work out when I'm at home. I have a trainer here, so I stay relatively healthy with that. I try to eat well. But for me, because like I am now, I'm extremely loud. I yell, I project, I gesticulate on stage. day 3, show 7 on Sunday after a long weekend, and doing 45 minutes a show, my voice becomes so strained. My voice, like right now, it's a Monday and I'm raspy as shit. That's the most physically taxing thing. Apart from that, dude, I wouldn't change it, man. I love the road. I love going from city to city. I love flying into South Florida on, Thursday, doing a show in Tampa, then Orlando, then Tallahassee, then Pensacola, then flying home. I love that shit. So I love it.
Awesome. So you started out, you said you were doing a few shows a year, this kind of thing. Did you come up in the clubs, or did you, you're working with some guys that have gotten famous off videos, but you took a different route.
All of that's new. My path was, the trail that I blazed was completely different from everybody else's. I call it the Benjamin Button comedy career, and this is why. I have a comic friend who is a local guy who headlines local clubs. He's been doing it 15 years. He's opened for Carlos Mencia and some big acts. His name's Eddie Cruz. He's a big fat piece of shit in real life, though. I love him, though. And we were good friends outside of comedy. I used to think he was a famous comedian because I saw him host and feature at Houston Improv, opening up for these big guys. And then I was playing a poker game in Houston, and he comes into the poker room, and then he starts dealing the game. I'm like, this famous comedian is dealing poker? Holy shit, he's broke. And then, and I was like, that's crazy. Well, he asked me, he's like, hey, why don't you come do a show? You always make people laugh at the poker table. Come do a show with me. I'm like, fuck yeah, when? He goes, 3 months. I'm like, sure, anything 3 months from now, I got plenty of time to bail on.
Right.
And 45 days later, my face is on a flyer at the Houston Improv, and we sold that bitch out. And I ended up doing 22 minutes, my first time ever touching the stage. No open mic, no. The first time I ever spoke into a microphone was at a sold-out crowd.
No way, that is something.
People.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And I killed it because I got 275 of my friends in the audience who laugh at the dumbest shit because they're not going to let me bomb. I walked off stage like, I'm a fucking pro comic now. Fucking, we made it. Like Netflix will be here in a week. Like, I can't believe they haven't called. And the next set I did 4 months later, same thing, same crowd. 100. We sold out Houston Improv. 200 of the same people, and I wrote a new 25-minute set. And I opened for Nick Guerra, and it went really well. And then I wrote an hour. My third time on stage, I did an hour, and I headlined the Houston Improv at another sold-out show. So my first 3 shows were 22 minutes, 27 minutes, and then 70 minutes, all different material. And all of it was hacky fucking garbage, but it's gotten better.
Yeah, I love that too. Like there comes a point a lot of times too when you have some instant success and you have a ton of friends that come out and watch you. Some people, there's that reality moment where you eat shit and you realize you're not actually that good. And then there's some people that think that everything they say is funny from then on out, and they never get better. How did you avoid being that second guy, where basically you didn't put in more work and learn how to become a good comic?
Well, like I said, I work my ass off. You got to be naive and foolish to think that you're going to write 20, 30 minutes, an hour, all new material, go on stage, and not put in the fucking work to do it. I didn't go up there and just, I memorized it. I worked my ass off doing it. So I always worked. And you can ask Dustin, you can ask Zach, Chad, everybody I've ever worked with. They pick me up because I work my ass off. I'm the first one in the club. I'm the last one to leave. I'm selling T-shirts. I'm setting up tables and chairs. I do everything because I give a shit. And I think that's what set me apart from everybody else. So once I got where it was 4 years and I'd done 12 or 15 shows, I knew that it was work. It was always work for me. And it's fun work because the fruits of it are so rewarding. You're a comic, you know that. So it was awesome, man. But I had a very interesting path in comedy and a very weird trajectory because 4 years in, I've already headlined Houston Improv. I've written 2 hours of material. I've gotten standing ovations. I've changed my job to stand-up comedian after my first set on stage. Fuck you.
There you go.
And
man, it can take years to get 70 minutes worth of material. Years.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And it was, like I said, I go back and watch it now, and it's like, 10 minutes of it is, so where are all the married people at? All right,
yeah. But who here's got a dog? Who's got a birthday coming up?
Exactly. So it wasn't great, but it was still, I don't know anybody else that had done it. So it was kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
And then 5 years later, my poker room went under, and I was doing comedy full time. And then I go into the comedy scene, and at this point, I'm established. I've made money. I'm driving a nice car. I'm doing other things. Comedy, I have all these credentials, and I go to these open mics thinking like, these dudes can't wait to embrace me. Yeah.
That's not how it
That
is.
was not it. I know all the listeners or viewers you guys got, they don't fucking understand what you do.
Yeah.
You don't walk into a comedy open mic when nobody knows who you are. It doesn't matter what your resume is. You're a newbie. And it was the first time in my life I was ever just like blatantly shunned by a community. It was crazy. And I've been to prison, so
I came from a small town where like I started late. I've only been doing this 8 years myself too. So, you said you've been on 8. I'm at 9 now. So, I didn't really have a home club because I can't drive all the time, right? So I started booking my own shit right away, and I started booking myself to open for people you've heard of. And I kind of, there's people, he didn't pay his dues, even though I'm driving around, the same as a road comic, right off the bat. So, there's definitely a comic whole thing like, why is he getting this show? Why is he getting all that kind of thing? But we do put in the work.
started the exact same way. I'm a business guy. I've always been a business guy. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, and I knew I could go into a venue and say, "Hey, I've got these comics. Give me $500 for a show. I pay the comics $100 each, and I make $300." And that was a business model, and we did it. And now I can do 30 minutes on stage. And you know how it is that you're booking yourself. You do what you want. So it was a similar trajectory.
That was the other thing. That was just, it was that kind of thing. Like, who else is going to give me a long set? I better go get it myself.
Right.
Yeah.
But look at you
and
now. This is your only job, right?
My first year as a pro comic, I think I did 190 shows with a median time of about 35 minutes because I was producing every show that I did. So I would headline the big ones and do 45 to an hour. And I'm the host up top. I'm the host liner on my own shows because a lot of people came out to see me because I was producing the shows. So I would do 25 to open the show. You couldn't tell me shit. I didn't care.
So you mentioned being a businessman. Tell us how you're making $500 some nights on stage.
Fuck! I didn't know you heard that. So I am a business guy. I made. I don't want to disclose the numbers, but because Joe Biden's in office and I don't pay taxes. But we did real good in merch last year. I'm the guy who totes a suitcase full of mannequins. 3 suitcases full of merch. I got fold-out tables and a whole pop-up shop. But I did 6 figures my first year doing merch, just T-shirts, because of the volume of people that I was fortunate enough to be in front of. And when you go into, like you said, how we started this interview, when you go into a crowd, no one knows who you are, and you kill a room, they want to support you. They want to buy your $30 T-shirt. And so that was how it started. And then I started buying. I'm signing autographs like crazy in the last 2 years and taking photos with everybody. And my recognition is blown up. And then Abilene, Texas, Potosi Live. Shout out Chris Randolph if you see this. One of the guys comes up after the show and is like, "I want to buy that shirt you're wearing." I'm like, "Cool, I got him at the merch booth." He's like, "I want that one." I'm like, "I'm sweat, bro. Like, just did 40 minutes. And he goes, "I want you to sign it. I'll give you $200. I'm like, "Shit, motherfucker, this is yours. Where do you want me to sign?" And I literally came out of it right then, signed it. And then I went back to Abilene 3 months later and headlined the show. After Chad brought me to open, they brought me back to headline. And I did an hour, and the same guy was there. And he was like, "I want that shirt." And I'm like, "Bro, I paid $100 for this shirt." He's like, "I'll give you $500. I'm like, "Where do you want me to sign?" And,
is he sleeping with these? Like, why does he want the sweaty shirts?
He'll be up here in Indiana next week.
The backstory was that Josh Blue headlined the room before I was there, and he bought Josh Blue's shirt off of his back, and now that was his thing. Right. Well, I posted both of those stories on social media and had this big fluffy page, about it. So then I leave Abilene and go to Lubbock. I walk in holding the same shirt, these Joker shirts that I wear. And I walk in and a guy goes, "That's my shirt after you're done." I'm like, "Nah, bro, I sell these for $500 signed." He goes, "I follow your fan page. I saw it. That one's mine." And I sold it before I even went on stage. And I was like, "All right, we're blowing this shit up." And I sold number 7 and number 8 in Florida this weekend. So yeah, hey, if you're in Hobart, Indiana, Terre Haute, or Richmond, hit me up before the show starts, and you can have dibs on that shirt for $500.
See, that's why I wanted to bring this up.
Have you got a shirt nearby or not? You could show us what.
It'll take me 20 seconds to go grab it. You want me to grab it?
Yeah, we can pull up a clip. You can show them what it's going to look like.
Yeah, I'll go show you. Yeah.
Look at the chair. Look at that. What is that?
He's showing off the man cave or the business office or whatever's
the
going on
chair.
there too.
Yeah, there he is.
See him on stage, and you can see he's always moving. He's
the
talking.
energy. I was watching his tapes before this, and exhausting.
So these were the shirts I had made right here. So these were the shirts.
Oh yeah, okay,
And
I saw those. I saw
and
those.
It's sparkly, look, it's all sparkly, bedazzled, whatever. And this is the designer in Paris right here, George V. So I bought these. And they're like $130 retail. You can get them wholesale, for a little more. I actually start selling these now. I bought about 20 of them, and I sell these for $200 at live shows, and I'll sign them too if they want. And then, the businessman that I am, I had a knockoff version made that I had these printed, and I sell these for $30, which is completely illegal. But they're from France, so they have to sue me.
You have to love somebody.
I have my name and my logo printed on there with these. So
you have to love someone that sells their own bootleg shit. Like that is amazing.
Oh yeah,
this show's big in France, though, isn't it?
I made 6 figures my first year doing merchandise, and my second year we doubled that, and this is year 3. So, I'm unapologetic about that for sure.
Fantastic. Well, Dustin Sims plus Jesse Peyton. The 4th, 5th, and 6th, I'm going to be, I think, at the Sunday show, just checking you out and supporting and watching your set again. So it'll be good to run across you again.
Yeah.
MadHatterShows.com. One other thing I want to bring up, tell me what these 4 cities have in mind here in common. South Padre Island, the Addison Improv, Lake Charles, Louisiana, and the Houston Improv.
Those are all cities I'm going to be headlining and driving distance. That's what we love.
Yeah, so you're in that position where we want you to be cool with Mad Hatter shows because it's very possible we're going to be booking not Dustin Sims, not Zach, Bradford, but booking actually you as a headliner in the future. Is that the ultimate goal, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing I lack is the social media following and the fans. And, touring with Chad, I picked up, several thousand fans along the way. The cool thing about picking up fans while on tour opening for somebody else is you're picking up stand-up comedy fans who've already seen you perform versus guys who just open up their phone that may never go to a live show. So it's been good. Yeah, so my fan base is absolutely growing. In Houston, I'm probably one of the more recognizable comics as far as selling out locally. And then in Texas, I do about 30 different venues that I book. So I've cultivated big fan bases there. And like you said, now it's South Padre, Lake Charles, Addison Improv. We're really expanding, man. It's been good. It's been good.
Awesome. Well, if you're in Indiana, come out and see this weekend. If you're in Texas, check out that other stuff. Do you have a website? Where's the best place to start with you to see everything?
The best place for the most content is going to be Facebook, Jesse Peyton. Also, Jesse is Funny. My website's jesseisfunny.com, and I'm pumping out 3 TikTok videos a day. We're in the middle of one actually taking off right now. So I think I just doubled my followers this week on one video. So that's
awesome.
On TikTok. Jesse is Funny 420. You got to go check that one out. I ain't going to tell you what it was, but it was a clip from the show last night in Tallahassee. It was pretty funny.
This guy is probably jet lagged, and this is how much energy he has right now. You can imagine what it's going to look like this weekend. We appreciate you being on here late at night to plug your shows, and we'll see you here this weekend.
Thank you, guys. Look forward to it. Appreciate you having me, man.
All right, man.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
That guy's gonna go do like 50 push-ups right now and slam a Red Bull and do 3 more videos. Like that's
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, he's a high energy. That's for sure. That's great.
So you get folks they're like, I can't get any gigs, or I can't write any jokes, that kind of stuff. Like you need to watch Jesse and be inspired.
Exactly. I mean, what a way to get started. I mean, who does 20 minutes, 45 minutes, 70 minutes in 3 shows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kids, that's not how it works typically. But you can make your own rules when you are.
But it can work anyway now.
Yeah.
I mean, with everybody coming up through the social media avenues.
Absolutely. So just to recap, I guess, because we went out of order, but to recap the shows that are happening this weekend, Dustin Sims on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with Jesse Peyton. That's going to be in Hobart, Indiana on Friday night, and Terre Haute on Saturday night, and on Sunday he'll be in Richmond at the 4th Floor Blues Club. So come on out to see that duo. And then Thursday and Friday, we're going to have Jimmy Walker also at the Central Indiana venues around Indianapolis. On Thursday, we're going to have him in Franklin, and Friday at the Irving Theater. So it's a lot going on there.
Yeah, that's going to be great weekend.
A lot going on. I told you we got nothing Valentine's weekend.
You're off. No Mad Hatter shows that weekend.
No
right?
Mad Hatter shows, but I got some shows.
Let the people go to dinner, right?
Yeah. I got some shows. So anybody that tuned in and they're mad that Jeffrey Lewis is sitting in Kamillion's seat tonight, you can see Kamillion on Friday, the 11th of February at Tippy's in Winnemac. That's on the Neil Snyder Presents Facebook page. And then also on that Saturday, the annual show in Rensselaer. I don't know if you have places that you do like every year, once a year. The annual Thanksgiving show, you get those tickets by calling the venues. The Friday's at Tippy's in Winnemac, and Saturday is the Rensselaer Eagles Club. So, yeah. I think we've
comment from Cletus himself coming in from Facebook there, if you see.
Yeah, Cletus T. Judd is talking. He's probably licking his chops because he knows he's going to be on the next one here. February 16th, Cletus T. Judd will be our guest on the Mad Hatter podcast, so that should be a lot of fun getting that comedy music legend on here, the country Weird Al Yankovic. I'm sure he's been called that plenty of times. Yeah, it's the next generation's Ray Stevens, Cletus T. Judd, the legend, will be with us on February the 16th, and then on the Bob and Tom tip, with the whole like bringing up the next generation of that show. Absolutely. Willie Griswold's going to be calling in too. So February 16th, we already know that lineup, Willie and Cletus, and that should be a lot of fun. Anything to wrap up here? What you thought?
Absolutely, fantastic.
I messaged you at like 2 p.m. and said, "Hey, do you want to do this thing tonight?" We got through it. Was it worth it?
Clean the fish tank? Come here.
There you go. Mad Hatter shows. Oh, Cletus is hitting us up for money. Hit John up, and you can negotiate your pay for the podcast. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks and 2 days. Come out this weekend. Jesse Peyton, Dustin Sims, Jimmy Walker. The Jimmy Walker shows has me at the front of them, so if they needed any additional reason to come out, we're going to have a lot of fun this weekend. Don't worry about anything else except coming out and being entertained. The world needs some entertainment right now and laughter, and this is what we're doing. MadHatterShows.com. We got shows all the way through April on the schedule. We'll see you next time on the podcast.
Great. So long, everybody. Thanks, Neil.
Thanks for coming.